And now we have our next guest, Lynn Husley. She's with the Dayton Daily News. So Lynn is going to kind of tell us what happened in Ohio and why J.D. Vance won, despite the fact that his opponent, Tim Ryan, really kind of clinged his clock in the debate. So we're going to go to the Dayton Daily News and talk to Lynn. And then we're going to talk to my friend from Arizona. Oh, Lynn, you're there. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on your show.
You're welcome. Well, welcome to our little Instagram round robin. So J.D. Vance was victorious. I think he won by something like 7 points, if I'm not mistaken.
Pretty close, 6.5.
Yeah. So tell me why you think he ultimately won, and as you sort of evaluate what happened yesterday at the polls.
Well, he is in a state that's gone pretty red. His margin of victory was close to what former President Trump's was in 2020, which was an 8% margin. He appeals to the Trump voter, who is a fairly large contingent here. And he also, of course, gets a lot of just Republican votes, whether they're Trump supporters or not, because he speaks about issues that are important to them.
And when you looked at what Ohio voters cared about yesterday in these elections, what were some of the biggest issues that were motivating them to go to the polls?
Well, the economy is the number one issue. People are paying more for gas and milk and the like. I think the message that the other parts of the economy are really good with strong jobs, low unemployment, doesn't resonate as much as, it costs more to fill up your tank. I also think that people are motivated about the issue of abortion. And here in Dayton, we had a mass shooting. So certainly in our region, the issue of gun safety is important. But I do think that while there are single issue voters, and there always have been, I do think people look at all kinds of issues when they decide on a candidate. And I think that's what happened here.
You were at the Trump rally in Dayton on Monday night. Tell us what you witnessed there, Lynn.
Well, it is an interesting experience to go to. There's a lot of people dress up in the Trump gear, and Uncle Sam was walking around. There were many, many speakers leading up to Trump's arrival, and he arrives in his plane, and he parks it right behind where he's going to speak. The crowd just loves him. I mean, when you talk to people there, they love Donald Trump. He spent a lot of his speech talking about his grievances, particularly the investigations that he faces, claiming that falsely that the election was stolen from him. And the crowd, that resonated with them. He was there to promote J.D. Vance, and he had him close to the stage, and he kept making references to him. So I think that Trump's endorsement definitely helped J.D. Vance win the primary, and I think it helped him win this election.
But it did not help in terms of the gubernatorial race, right? Can you explain what happened there?
Well, Mike DeWine, who is our current governor and a Republican, he has decades of service in Ohio in various jobs, including the U.S. Senate. And he is fairly popular amongst lots of people. He does not have that sort of far-right reputation that some of the more recent candidates have. In fact, you can argue that he lost his Senate seat because he was not right-wing enough for people at the time. So he had a lot of support from people that weren't just Republicans.
Yeah.
And, Nan Whaley, while well-known in the Montgomery County area, doesn't have the name recognition in to any degree that he does.
Yeah, because Mike DeWine pretty much fended off a Donald Trump supporter, right?
In the primary? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So Donald Trump has sort of varying levels of influence in Ohio, it seems.
He had mixed results here. So for instance, down in Cincinnati, there was an endorsed candidate, a Republican, longtime member of Congress, Steve Chabot, who lost last night to a Democrat. And up in northern Ohio, longtime Democratic U.S. Congresswoman Marcy Kaptur was able to fend off a challenge from a Trump-endorsed candidate, even though her district had been redrawn to be more favorable to Republicans. So I think he had mixed results.
And I just wanted to add that Ohio Republicans won all 3 state Supreme Court races on Tuesday, which is damning for the future of abortion rights in the state. What's the overall mood of people in the state when it comes to reproductive rights?
Well, it's a huge issue for many people, and not just Democrats. There will be cases most likely coming before this Supreme Court on abortion rights, because the state legislature has had multiple bills adding increasing restrictions. So nationwide, we saw some initiatives to protect abortion rights pass, and we saw an initiative to restrict abortion rights in Kentucky fail. So
Yeah.
I think that it's not going to be an issue that goes away. But as I said earlier, I think things like the economy were very important in people's minds. Whether the economy can be solved as simply as the candidates say, it can't.
Right.
Almost
Because
nothing
one
can
of
be
the
solved
things, one of the things you've noticed is that Republicans didn't really have a solution for fixing the economy. It was more that voters were lashing out about the economy, but it's not as if the alternative had a solution to fixing it.
Well, in Ohio, J.D. Vance basically blamed Joe Biden's energy policies, which national Republicans have done, as well as the money that the Democrats and Joe Biden approved for COVID relief in 2021. Interestingly, they don't blame the money that was approved under Trump for COVID relief for injecting too much money into the economy. So those two things are what they blame for inflation. But of course, inflation is a worldwide phenomenon right now. And most economists agree that it stems from the pandemic and all of the economic disruptions that came from that. But certainly the federal money that poured into the economy gave people more money to spend.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, listen, Lynn, thank you so much for your time. We're going to go talk to somebody about Arizona now. Lynn Husley from the Dayton Daily News. Thank you. This was fun meeting you and fun talking to you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.